Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're joining me for the first time, welcome in. My name is Tuesday, and today we're going to be building a house for a family. I want to build a house for a family that felt like they had a lot going on. It was a really big family, and something was also inspired by the fall season. I am really loving building these houses, and I hope you guys are enjoying them. I wanted to build this house because I'm kind of just in the mood to build suburbans right now. Typically I will build houses and I actually really don't like them and just bulldoze them, and a lot of houses never see the light of day, but I really like this one. It has a lot of eaves, and something about my houses is I typically like to have houses that have a lot of entrances, so not just like the back porch and like the front porch have doors. It's not just the back door and the front door, but like doors on the sides, like multiple entrances to the house. I kind of really like it when my houses have that, and this house has that. Another thing this house has is a very different color scheme than I normally go for. So this house went through a couple of different looks, and I deleted a lot of the footage where the house was like blue and green and red, and I just decided that I wanted to use this green siding, and I typically don't use this green siding, especially since it's so dark, but mainly the reason why I don't use it is it has like this white trim on the side, and I can never get the trim to line up. Like, it doesn't show up on every corner, and it's a little frustrating to use because of that. In previous Sim games we had it where we could select the siding with the trim on the sides, but in the Sims 4 we don't have that. But I decided to use it this time, and I used the get together columns to kind of border off the sides. But I like how it came out, and I paired it with this red brick, and I think it looks really cozy together, and especially with the brick path that I chose, I think everything was really cohesive and really played well together. Especially after I added the get famous columns, because it has that brick at the bottom, and I think it just goes really well. And yeah, I'm working on the landscaping now. My inspiration for this landscaping was like messy bun, and what I mean by that is I wanted the landscaping to look messy and a little unkempt, but still chic and like purposeful. So that was kind of the inspiration, because I didn't have a style going into the landscaping. I didn't have a color theme or anything like that. I just wanted to make something that was really overgrown but still really pretty, and something kind of just added like a lot of green and a lot of warmth to the build, and I really like how it came out. But that was kind of like my inspiration, is maybe the family doesn't have all the time in the world to take care of the bushes and take care of everything, and maybe they just can't afford a gardener to come and help and take care, but maybe the dad or maybe the mom or maybe the older son, maybe they come and work on the outside and come and landscape and take care when they have time. Here I'm working on making a, I don't know what to call this. In South Africa we call this an optaki, and what that basically means is just a little piece of like roofing, like a little bit of covering for something. And I like this, it kind of gives a like a home to the litter box and to the trash bin, because sometimes I find it a little strange to just plop those down wherever. Sometimes it doesn't quite make sense, so I like to always build a structure and give it a bit of a home essentially on the lot. I also added a bike over there next to the trash can, and I added one on the porch. I added quite a few bikes to this build. I like to add the bicycles wherever I can in my builds, especially the family builds, because I feel like it's really realistic. Maybe the kids use their bikes to go to their friends, maybe they use it to go to the park, or maybe they go to school, because since in the Sims 4, for whatever reason, we don't have school buses anymore. The kids just go to the front of the lot and they teleport away, and maybe they just ride their bicycle to school. Maybe that's just the story I'm gonna go with. I included the floor plan into this lot and into the speed build, mainly because I usually cut it out, but I wanted you guys to see the process that I go through. Although I actually did do this floor plan off screen, it's just with like some magic editing tricks from my amazing partner that you couldn't see that I cut it out. But I did cut it out because this floor plan went through a couple of different layouts, a couple of different renditions, but I ended up going with this one because it feels kind of like closed off and cozy, and I like my houses to feel a bit more roomed off. But that's mainly just because I don't like big open floor plans. I like them in real life. I think open floor plans are really cute in real life, but in The Sims, I'm not a big fan of them in family homes. And here we are working on the living room. Now, this living room, I wanted my main centerpiece of the room to be a fireplace. So I chose this fireplace, which has a similar brick to what we have outside on the front of the house. So I thought maybe it made everything feel really cohesive, because it felt like it brought in like the coziness from the outside, and it just made everything feel a bit more tied together. And I used the green couches and the green sofas. The one sofa is from Parenthood and the other's from Nifty Knitting. I don't use that Nifty Knitting sofa as much as I would like to, but everything kind of just flowed and fit together really nicely in this room, and I really like how it came together, especially after I got all the swatches to match, which in The Sims is a feat in itself, especially with all the wood swatches. I got all the wood swatches in this room to match: the bookcase, the kids' art table in the corner, the sofa, the side table, the sideboard table that goes behind the long sofa, the hutch, coat rack. I don't know what you call that, but all the woods match in this room except for the mirror. And that's a really big achievement in The Sims, because none of the woods match in this game, and I made it match. And it's all swatches I would typically never use in my builds, because they are a little bit warmer tone than I would like, but I think it really fit into this house. And here I am just working on the guest room / office. I knew what I wanted this room to be. It was just a matter of how I wanted to lay it out and what kind of furniture I wanted to put into it. And I ended up going with everything from tiny living. I wanted this place to function as an office when they didn't need it as a guest room, but also function as a guest room and be comfortable enough for people who were staying over. And my friend suggested that I use the Murphy bed, because I was really stuck with trying to pick what bed would fit in this room. That was mainly the issue I was having, was when I went in to build the house and decorate it, I realized how small the rooms were. Originally, this room was supposed to be the master. Not that the master is much bigger than this room, but it's a little bit bigger, and so I decided just to make this into an office and a guest room. I feel like a guest room is something that I don't include very often in my builds. I'm starting to include them a lot more often than normally, but I feel like it's just one of those touches in a house that if you have a really big house and you have a lot of rooms, maybe it's something you do have, because I wanted this house to feel like maybe this family entertains a lot, and maybe they have guests that come over, and maybe when they have guests that come over, they stay in this room, but when their mom needs it for office work, she can just put the bed up. I don't often use that Murphy bed in my Sims game, which is why I totally forgot about it, mainly because it kills my Sims, and I'm just not about that. I'm just not thrilled about the idea of my Sims constantly being killed. I know I really like it for the drama, but not always. Not on the regular, so I don't often use the Murphy bed actually. You see the room off to the side. I cut the bathrooms out of this build mainly because it was getting a little long, but there is an ensuite off that guest room, which makes it a really perfect guest room for just like privacy reasons. You can, if you really want to, if you do decide to download this house and play in it, you could always put a door from the master bedroom, which is the room I'm working on at the moment, and you could put a door from the master room into that bathroom and make it an ensuite. Although there is a bathroom right across the hall, not even a hall, like 2 tiles over from the master bedroom is a really big bathroom. All the bathrooms in this house came out surprisingly big. I don't know how many bathrooms are in this house actually, now that I think about it. I think there are 4. I think there's 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs. And I think one of them that's upstairs has laundry in it. I'm not sure, but I did cut out all the bathrooms. But yeah, I'm just adding the last touches to the master bedroom, and it's really brown in here, which is really strange for me because I don't typically decorate in brown, but I've always used that specific bed from Seasons, I think it is, and I always use it in the pink swatch because it's really pretty in the pink swatch, but I decided to use it in the brown swatch because I felt like it matched everything a little bit better, and I'm really glad I did because it's like a chocolate color, and I think it's really cozy. It makes that room feel really warm and inviting, and maybe the teenager just goes to go hang out with a mom in the room and have like deep conversations about things and about troubles. I don't know, it just feels like a cozy space to go and hang out. But speaking of cozy places to hang out, I am working here on the kitchen, and the kitchen is also the dining space. I wanted to have a formal dining room originally, but the layout of the house just didn't allow for it. So I combined both the kitchen and the dining room. Even though this family, like I said, likes to entertain and have guests over, that's why they have a guest room. They don't have a dining room, unfortunately, but I think that's okay because I feel like maybe their friends understand this really down to earth, really homey kind of family. Like it's a really cozy place to hang out, and it kind of reminds me of my house that I live in at the moment. We have our dining space is also with our kitchen, and I remember growing up with my parents and my aunts and my uncles, they used to play cards in the kitchen dining room until early hours of the morning, and I would be sitting off to the side because there was a desk in that room also, and I'd play The Sims 1 actually, and that's a very fond memory, and that brings back really cozy memories for me. Except when The Sims 2 came out, and if you played The Sims 2, you know what I mean when I say the cutscenes had you turning the monitor away from your family and away from your parents, and so that it made it a little awkward when The Sims 2 came out, but when The Sims 1 came out, it was totally fine. And I used to love sitting at the desk, like the family desk in the kitchen, and just playing Sims for hours. And this kitchen kind of just reminds me of those memories, like being like really cozy and just hanging out. Here I'm trying to pick like a floating island. I like the idea, and I wish we had this in The Sims. It's like, I think they're called like butcher's blocks, where they're like really skinny islands that are on wheels that you can kind of just tuck away. I would love for that to be a thing in The Sims. So I sometimes include like these really skinny, what are they called, like butler tables or console tables, these really skinny ones, and I will use them as like butcher blocks, like floating islands in the middle of kitchens. But unfortunately this kitchen was just too small for that, so it didn't fit in here. It just made the whole kitchen feel like really cramped, so I decided to put a long island in, and that kind of just worked out and extended the space, even though the kitchen is now like a U shape, like an L shape almost, and it makes it a little bit more awkward. Here I'm just kind of going around the house adding like little bits to make the house feel a little bit more cozy and a little bit more cohesive, and I'm adding some clutter. I always like, if you watch any of my builds, by the front door there's always a chair with the table from laundry day, some bowls, and a lamp on it. I feel like that's really realistic, and I feel like you find it in every house, and I know my friend's mother has a table exactly like that one, and that's kind of where I get the idea from. By our door we don't have something like that. We have a butler's table, and we have like a china cabinet. We don't have a table like that, but my friend's mother does, so that's where I get the idea from. Here we are moving on to the upstairs. I'm just going around adding some windows along the outside because I just didn't get to quite figure out the back the way I wanted to. And when I switch back, you see magic poof, the magic of editing. The bathrooms are done. Like I said, I cut all the bathrooms out of this house because the build originally, I think it was like 39 minutes originally, and I said to my partner who edits my videos, no, we're gonna cut this down quite a bit. So I took the bathrooms out, but if you guys would like to see the bathrooms in the next build, comment below and let me know, because I can include at least one. But I feel like bathrooms are that thing that once you show one, you don't need to show all of them, because it's all like the same items just placed differently, and it feels a little repetitive almost. But if you want to see them, let me know. And here we are working on the teenagers room. I used, and I'm using this trick quite often. I took a little desk, I sized it down, I put a computer on it, and I snuck it underneath the desk and used shelves to make like a custom desk, because I don't always want to use the desk that we have in the Sims. Sometimes you just want something a little bit more custom. And I sized down an ottoman and I put that underneath the desk along with some boxes just to like camouflage it. But also because I think everybody, if you are at your desk for any amount of time, you deserve an ottoman, like a cushy ottoman underneath your desk that you can put your feet on. I have one and I love it. It's actually just a plastic step stool, but it works all the same. I didn't exactly have a vision for this teenager when I was decorating this room. I was more just thinking of a style, kind of like edgy, kind of a bit more industrial, but something still. I wanted to keep the same color scheme from the rest of the house, which was really warm, really cozy. And thinking about this kid, maybe they are like a edgy, cool kid, but maybe they also really like hanging out with their family. I'm thinking picture kind of like Steve Harrington from Stranger Things. I don't know if that's a reference everybody's gonna get, but that's kind of the vibe that I had for this guy who was living in that room. So something was a little bit hard on the outside but an absolute marshmallow on the inside. That's kind of what I wanted to do. And we moved on to the second kid's room over here. Again, I didn't really have a specific personality in mind for this kid. I more have like an age idea. I think this kid is about like 11, between 9 and 11 years old. And this kid is, I'm thinking the middle kid. The next kid is like the youngest. I'm thinking this one is the middle kid, preteen kind of vibe. And they're definitely kind of the favorite because they have a TV in their room, which is pretty cool. I love this penguin TV. I didn't always notice it before, but now that I have noticed it, I use it in all my kids' rooms. All my kids have TVs in their rooms, which is not something I had growing up, but something I always wanted was a TV in my room. I think I got a TV in my room when I was 21, 22, somewhere around there. I got a TV in my room for the first time, and I actually don't use it as much as I thought I would. I spend more time at my PC. But again, I didn't have a specific idea of the kid that lived here. I just more wanted to stay in like a neutral color scheme, and all the bedrooms that I decorate in this build, none of them are gendered. So if you download this house and you want to build in this house and you want to play in it, you can always just switch out the furniture, switch out the colors, depending on the personality of the Sims or the gender of your Sims. Totally up to you if you want to redecorate. It's really easy to just switch out the furniture and switch out the colors a little bit. And that brings us to our last kid's room. There are 3 bedrooms upstairs and 2 bathrooms upstairs. And no, there are 3 bathrooms upstairs. I'm being silly. There are 5 bathrooms in this house. Holy crap. So definitely if you wanted to, you could switch out one of the bathrooms for a bedroom. I'm thinking the bathroom downstairs would be a great room to switch out. But going back to this kid's room, I wanted this kid's room to be focused more on like a 7-9-year-old, somewhere around about there, somebody like a little younger. And something I noticed is I don't use the kids room pack very often, so I filtered by the kids room pack and by base game, and I just wanted to make a room that was dedicated to that. And I wanted it to feel like this kid was crazy about the Sims Pokemon, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, void critters. That was really difficult to say, but void critters. And I chose the bedding because the little creature that's eating on the bed sheets, I thought they looked like a Sims version of a Kirby, like a void critter version of a Kirby. And that's kind of just what I went with, and I really like it as the room came out. I feel like the room has a lot of personality and a lot of color, especially contrast to the rest of the house, which is very brown and green and orange. I really like how the house ended up coming together and how the room specifically came out together. And I used the base game curtains, the ones that just had the color refresh, the updated swatches. Adore them, love them. I'm using those. I think they came up with, like, I believe I heard they came out with a toddler update. It's like those curtains with, like, the sheer bit, their base game, and they normally had like stars and like nature scenes, and like it had an orange and a purple and a blue swatch, and it was really difficult to use. But now it's got like all these beautiful colors, and like it's got a white swatch on it, and I'm in love, and I use it everywhere. And we are on to the garden, and I'm still rambling about a curtain, but that just goes to show how much I absolutely love the fact that they updated all the base game items. And to switch back to talking about the build here, we are coming to the end. I'm just going to the backyard. I landscaped the backyard. I put in a couple of paths. I put in just more bushes, more overgrown landscaping, more messy bun landscaping. Is that going to become a thing? I don't know. But I wanted this backyard, even though I wanted this house to be decorated for fall and winter. By the way, this house would look adorable in winter, like covered in snow. 10 out of 10. I would love to curl up with a mug of cocoa in the living room when it's snowing outside, which I've never experienced. I've never experienced snow, only ever experienced hail, but that's not living in South Africa. And I imagine this house would be really popular also in summer. So I put a pool in at the back. I put a grill in, so your Sims can come and hang out here in the summertime, come and swim, use the grill, and make like a great like 4th of July kind of holiday. Do you guys have that in your games? Do you guys ever use the seasons? Well, I suppose now it's a base game calendar, but do you guys ever use the calendar to add fun holidays into your Sims games? Let me know in the comments. But that brings us to the absolute end of the build. If you guys liked it at any point, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you all have an awesome day. Remember to stay kind, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!